Hey guys, Terrence here. Today I'll be dealing with another coolant leak on this Dodge Caravan. It's a 2008 Dodge Caravan. I changed the lower inlet tube. There's a video on my channel for that. I also changed the water pump because it was leaking as well. There's a video on the channel for that. But today there's a real leak coming from the heater core lines. It's one of the disconnect lines. So let me show you guys where it's leaking from and show you guys what I bought to fix it. So let's get started. Okay guys, I'm gonna remove the battery out my way so I can have room to get directly down to that disconnect hose. See if I can kind of zoom in. This guy right here, it's leaking. And it's leaking, as you can see, it's leaking all down onto the manifold, all into the ground. I tightened it up, I thought that would help. I tightened around the clamp, move the clamp down. As you can kind of see the clamp has shifted because I moved it closer to the bottom of that disconnect hose and it's still leaking. This is another part. You can't buy this part. There's no part number for it. So the guy was searching, even though it pulled up on the website showing this disconnect connector, there's no part number for it. So you guys won't find a part. There's a number on the this part itself. This is found located in the help section of AutoZone. They have a couple different sizes, so I kind of came out and measured this to the one that's down there, and it's very similar, so hopefully it'll fit on there. But there's no part for this connector, so you have to go to the help section to find it if it was leaking from there. So let's change that out, guys. Okay guys, first thing we want to do is kind of clear out some space for us. Remove the battery. This is a 13 millimeter. You can screw it up a little bit so you can get this to move. This brace to move and pull the battery out. And disconnect the battery top post with some 10 millimeter wrench or socket here. So get this out of our way. The first thing I'm gonna remove is, let's go with that brake booster line out of our way. This is the brake booster line. You definitely don't want to disconnect this, but you can twist it out of your way, like so you can have more space. So I'm gonna remove this main clamp that connects it to the connector. I'm gonna loosen this one. These are 8 millimeters clamps. I'm gonna unloosen that one. So I may take this hose off first, guys. Pull that back, move that up, take that. So that's first using my clamp tool. Let's get this other clamp pulled down some. And you guys are watching. Try to make sure I show all the details with everything I do. Okay guys, we got the first one off. It was a little stubborn, but got in there with the stubby flathead and it popped right off. Now I should be able to get the, because you have too much no play on this pipe that leads into the front coolant. So so the next one we'll take off is this one to the heater core. I'm gonna be careful with that too. You're definitely not trying to break the housing of the heater core. So let me get that one off. Okay guys, I think I got some room to pull that quick clamp up. Let me show you guys the clamp I'm talking about. You guys can see that white tab. You want to push in on both sides. That's why it's kind of best to use some channel locks, because it is on a difficult angle. Neither of those pliers you may can get, but it's kind of hard to get them back there. But the pliers, they're already angled. So you want to lock it on both of those tabs. See, if you look at it already, I'm just about there. The bottom of the pliers are already touching the white tab. So I'm going to push that in. I'm going to pull that clamp up. Okay guys, I got it off. So I'm just going to twist this rubber from here like this. Let me show you guys. twist that off, and let's change out this quick disconnect. So we got the new piece. This is the piece we want to use. Looks like the same diameter. Let's see. All right. I'll push it down on there. All right. And let's get this removed. Okay, guys. Here's the new and the old piece side by side. They're pretty much identical, with the exception of this is the new one with the larger hole. This has a smaller hole. So, definitely the same diameter, everything. Although the part is not sold behind the counter, you can find it in the help section. Pull this thing thoroughly, and you see not a crack in this piece. It was running from up top. So maybe there's nothing wrong with this. So maybe it's the holes, I don't know. It is pretty worn, but got some cuts in it. This hose has a larger side and a smaller side, so maybe replace this. Go buy some holes and replace this. Replace this hose, so we got the other piece on there. Another thing, guys, make sure when you put this connector on, you want to make sure it's pushed down and clamped onto this metal hose. You want to make sure it clicks in place. I hate I didn't show that because I try to show the details, but you want to make sure it's clicked in place. Like, it can't come up now. And I'm pulling on it so the connector itself can lock onto this tab, onto both of those tabs on each side. Okay, guys, I bought new hose. Just gonna cut the length of the old hose off the new hose. We'll just have some spare hose for later. I'm gonna go out with new clamps just to make sure this clamp wasn't bad, but it has plenty of tension on it. So I think the culprit is this hose right here. There's a split there. Not sure if it goes all the way through. So let's change that out. Let's cut this hose. Get the hose up there. And see what we got. I'll put a little grease on both of these ends so the hose can slip up pretty good. Okay, guys, I got my new hose on. Took a couple seconds to do. This part is fatter than this part, so the hose they had was a little tight fitting on here. So just got a little grease, put it on there, and twist it on like I'm twisting a light bulb in, or twisting a screwdriver, or just twisting a bolt in, and it twists right on. And I put new clamps on, and I tighten this clamp back up. So the only clamp that will have to be removed is this one, and eventually these two. But just to get it off, you want to remove this guy and that guy, so you can have some room to work with. Now I can just push the hose. I got a little space to lift up, and I can just lift up over the bottom coolant line, and I'll snap it in place. I'll spin the white connector around, and I should line right up with everything. Everything is tight. Let me just try to do this now while you guys are watching. Okay. Let's get that down in there. Oh, man. New rubber hose. new disconnect connector, new clamps, and it's clicked into place, as you guys can see. And now I just gotta put this line on. That clamp seems fine, and hopefully we'll be leak free. Okay, I got that one installed. Guys, I didn't show the size of the hose I bought, which is a 5/8 inch heater hose. This was the only size they had. The biggest size AutoZone had that'll fit this. The next size was like actual radiator hoses. So yeah, it's 5/8 inch, 15.9 millimeter heater hose. So let's install the battery and add some coolant, and hopefully everything's okay. It looks really good. Oh, another thing I forgot, guys. This little piece here, this was inside the new connector, so you may want to take it out, because this is actually for if you had a smaller line that it was connecting to. So it's like another adapter inside the hose. So take that out. You don't need that, guy. And push the disconnect down on them tabs and lock it in place. Okay, guys, looks like so far so good. Got some steam going off from the excess coolant that leaked down on the engine. I won't know until I let it run for a while. Let it sit and get the garage up. It's so cold outside. So I let it run for a while. Just hope for the best. So make sure you top the coolant off. Whatever you have leaked out, just want to kind of top it off. And hopefully you can fix your leak. So subscribe to the channel, guys. Until the next video, where I'll be uploading another video with this one in a minute. I'll have to change the ignition switch out on this van. This ignition switch is so loose. It's making the radio go in and out. The radio's going in and out. The lights flicker. Yeah, this ignition switch is super loose. So I'm gonna change this ignition switch out, and I'll be uploading that video in a second. So subscribe to the channel, guys. Terrence, and I'm out.